Imagine looking down at your odometer and seeing not 100,000 miles, not even 200,000, but a staggering 1 million. The same car you bought years ago, still running, still starting, still taking you wherever you need to go. For most people, that sounds like a fantasy. Cars aren't supposed to last that long. Engines wear out, transmissions fail, rust eats away until there's nothing left. Right? Not in Japan. In Japan, cars are kept alive for decades. And it isn't luck. It isn't magic. It isn't even just about the brands. It's about culture, habits, discipline. A culture shaped by one of the toughest car inspections in the world. The Shaken. The Shaken is so strict it makes every driver in Japan into a part-time mechanic. Fail, and your car is off the road until it's fixed. The test looks at everything. Rust, fluid levels, suspension noise, even squeaky hinges. In Japan, a squeak can ground your car. And because of that, Japanese drivers have learned to care for cars at a level most of us never consider. That's why their cars last forever. And today, I'm going to show you the 17 secrets Japanese drivers use to turn ordinary cars into million-mile machines. These are habits you can use right now to extend your car's life by decades. And if you stay until the end, I'll reveal the single habit that saves Japanese owners an average of $6,000 in repairs. Let's start with the habit that quietly destroys more engines than almost anything else. You wake up. You're running late. You jump into your car, start it, and immediately hit the gas. Maybe you floor it to merge into traffic. It feels normal. But what you just did is slowly killing your engine. When a car is cold, the oil is thick. It hasn't reached the pistons, the bearings, the camshaft, or the turbo. For the first 10 to 30 seconds, those parts are scraping together raw. Every cold rev you do is like taking sandpaper to your engine from the inside. Mechanics call it piston scuffing, and once those scars form, there's no fixing them. Bearings can seize against the crankshaft, leading to total failure. That's not a repair. That's a rebuild. And it costs over $5,000. The Japanese solution? Progressive warm-up. In winter, they idle the engine for about 30 seconds. Just long enough for oil to circulate, not wasting gas for 10 minutes, just half a minute. In summer, they drive right away, but gently. For the first 5 miles, no hard acceleration, no revs over 2,500. It's like warming up your muscles before sprinting. The result? Fleet studies in Japan show cars driven this way last up to 3 times longer than cars abused from cold. 3 times. That's the difference between scrapping your car at 150,000 miles or cruising past 500,000. And once your car is warmed up, the next step is protecting the very fluid keeping your engine alive. Oil. It's the blood of the engine. Without it, the engine dies in minutes. But here's the problem. Most people completely misunderstand oil changes. Your car's manual probably says to change oil every 10,000 to 15,000 miles. But that's based on ideal conditions. Highway cruising, mild weather, clean roads. Who drives like that? Almost nobody. The reality is short trips, stop-and-go traffic, freezing winters, boiling summers, dusty roads. That's not normal. That's severe service. Here's the scary part. Over 70% of cars needing major engine repairs after 125,000 miles belong to drivers who followed the normal schedule in their manuals. Japanese owners? They don't take chances. They assume severe service by default. Their rules: highway drivers change oil every 10,000 kilometers, about 6,200 miles. City drivers? Every 7,000 kilometers, about 4,300 miles. But here's the genius part. They don't just trust mileage, they trust condition. Once a month, they do the drop test. Put a drop of oil from the dipstick on white paper. Watch how it spreads. If it's light brown and clean, you're good. If it's dark, sticky, or barely spreads, it's time for a change, no matter the odometer. This keeps Japanese engines running with fresh oil all the time. No sludge, no gambling, just healthy oil, always. And that's why their cars outlive everyone else's. But oil isn't the only fluid that matters. Imagine running a marathon while dehydrated. You'd collapse. Cars are no different. They need fluids, lots of them. Transmission fluid, brake fluid, power steering fluid, coolant, even windshield washer fluid. Ignore them, and your car is on a death timer. Transmission fluid that's low or burnt makes shifting harsh and overheats the system. A rebuild? $6,000. Power steering fluid that runs out burns the pump, leaving you struggling just to turn the wheel. Coolant that drops overheats the engine, warps the head, cracks the block. Brake fluid absorbs water, rusting your brake lines, corroding your ABS, and leaving your brakes spongy. Most drivers? They never check. Japanese drivers? They check constantly. Every month, oil, transmission, and power steering. Twice a year, coolant and brake fluid. Before long trips? All of them. It takes 5 minutes. And here's the payoff. It prevents 90% of major breakdowns. 90%. That's not a guess. That's proven. And if a fluid is low, they never just throw in any bottle from the store. They always use the exact same type and brand, because mixing can cause foaming, seal damage, or worse. That kind of discipline is what keeps their cars running flawlessly while others fail. But fluids alone don't save cars. The next secret is about the unsung heroes of reliability. Filters. Filters are cheap. But neglect them, and they'll cost you thousands. Most car manuals say replace the air filter at 30,000 miles. The fuel filter? Maybe 30,000. Maybe never. Some manufacturers even call them lifetime filters. But lifetime doesn't mean forever. It means until failure. And when they fail, they don't just stop. They take other parts with them. A dirty air filter ruins the air-fuel ratio. Run rich, and you drown the engine in fuel, clogging the catalytic converter and washing down cylinder walls. Run lean, and you starve the engine, overheating combustion until pistons melt. A dirty fuel filter starves injectors, makes acceleration weak, and burns out fuel pumps. Japanese owners don't gamble. They replace air filters every 15,000 miles or once a year. Fuel filters every 20,000 miles or 2 years. Every time. Because they know a $20 filter prevents a $2,000 plus repair. But filters aren't the only things that get dirty. The entire intake system does too. Imagine trying to breathe with your nose stuffed with dirt. That's what your car feels like with a dirty intake. Over time, carbon and oil coat the throttle body, valves, and sensors. The result? Rough idle, hesitation, weak acceleration, terrible fuel economy, even stalling mid-drive. Imagine hitting the gas to merge on the highway, and your car dies. That's not just expensive, it's deadly. Japanese drivers clean the intake system every 25,000 miles. They spray throttle body cleaner, wipe airflow sensors, and clear valves. It costs maybe $20, but it prevents thousands in repairs and keeps engines breathing freely for decades. But even clean air won't save you if your fuel is dirty. Here's a truth car manufacturers don't like to admit. Standard gasoline is garbage. It meets minimum standards, and that's it. Within 10,000 miles, cheap fuel coats injectors, valves, and pistons with carbon. Cleaning that out? $500 to $1,000 every 50,000 miles. Over time, that adds up to thousands. Japanese drivers avoid that by using top-tier fuel, the kind loaded with detergents proven to keep engines up to 19 times cleaner. It even improves fuel economy by 4%. They also add trusted fuel additives every 3,000 to 10,000 miles. Not snake oil, real products that dissolve carbon. This one habit saves them thousands in cleaning costs and keeps engines factory clean deep into 6 figures of mileage. But even perfect fuel can't protect against bad driving, and here's where most Western drivers ruin their cars without even realizing it. Harsh driving, flooring the gas, slamming the brakes, taking corners like you're racing, hitting bumps without slowing down, it all destroys your car. Aggressive drivers spend 30% more on repairs and burn 30 to 40% more fuel. That's like setting $1,000 a year on fire. Worst of all, Studies show harsh driving cuts a car's lifespan by 20 to 40%. Japanese drivers do the opposite: smooth starts, gentle braking, balanced cornering. They treat every drive as if their car's life depends on it, because it does. But they also know the power of the Italian tune-up. Occasionally, they run the car hard at highway speeds to burn off carbon buildup. The difference: they only do it when the engine is fully warm. It's all about balance, smooth daily driving with smart bursts of spirited driving at the right time. But none of that matters if your cooling system fails. Half of catastrophic engine failures are linked to overheating. Combustion chambers hit 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit. Without coolant, the engine warps and cracks. That's death for the motor. Japanese owners are obsessed with coolant. Every month they check levels. Every 6 months they inspect hoses, radiator, thermostat, and cap. Every 30,000 miles they flush the whole system. They even use the smell test. Sweet syrup smell? That's a leak. Catch it early, and it's a cheap fix. Miss it, and you're out $5,000. And let's not forget tires, the only part of the car touching the road. In the US, tire failure causes 11,000 crashes a year. Not because tires are bad, but because people neglect them. Underinflated tires overheat and blow. Overinflated ones lose grip and shred early. Bad alignment destroys tread in months. And most people inflate using the number on the sidewall. That's max PSI, not recommended. The real number? On the sticker in your door jamb. Japanese drivers check PSI monthly, rotate regularly, align wheels, and switch to winter and summer sets. The payoff? Safer handling, longer tire life, better fuel economy, fewer accidents. But even perfect tires won't save you if a belt snaps. The serpentine belt powers everything. Alternator, water pump, steering, AC. If it breaks, you lose it all. The timing belt? Worse. If it snaps, pistons smash into valves, totaling the engine. Japanese owners inspect belts every 30,000 miles, replace serpentine at 50,000, and timing belts between 60,000 and 100,000. Spend hundreds now, or thousands later. Simple math. Even the battery terminals get love. That green-white crust you see? Corrosion. It blocks charging, confuses sensors, and fries alternators. Japanese drivers clean it with baking soda, scrub it, rinse, dry, and coat with Vaseline. A $1 fix that saves hundreds. And they never trust lifetime fluids. Transmission fluid gets dirty. Brake fluid absorbs water. Leave them, and you'll cook your transmission and kill your brakes. Japanese owners change transmission fluid every 50,000 to 60,000 miles, or 30,000 if high mileage. Brake fluid every 24,000. Always. Parts matter too. Aftermarket may be cheap, but it fails up to 15% of the time compared to just 2% for OEM. Japanese owners stick with OEM whenever possible. They fit better, last longer, and come with warranties. More expensive today, much cheaper tomorrow. And finally, the million-mile killer, rust. Rust cuts car value by 20%. That's $6,000 gone on an average used car. Rust in the frame or suspension. That car's not just worthless, it's unsafe. Japanese owners undercoat every 2 years, wash the undercarriage after salted roads, park in garages, and inspect yearly. A $500 prevention saves $10,000 later. 17 secrets. None of them magic. None of them complicated. But together, they explain why Japanese cars are legends. They don't just survive, they thrive. Not by chance, but by choice. By discipline. So here's my question to you. How many of these secrets are you following right now? 1? 2? None? Because if the Japanese can make their cars last 1,000,000 miles, so can you. Start today, and maybe one day you'll see that odometer roll into 7 digits.